All right, welcome to class tonight. We're gonna go ahead and go over crypto futures. Like I said multiple times, this is something that I'm pretty new to. I'm practicing, starting to study a little bit. So I don't know. I can't speak on it like I can speak on regular stocks, like how I speak on regular option stuff. So you're gonna get what I know, so that y'all can start at least making some moves, starting to at least see what's going on. When I'm calling out these signals, you look at the chat and you're like, dang, he just made $300, $500, whatever. We don't even know what we're looking at, right? So that being said, the first and foremost thing is setting up your wallet, right? So with Kucoin, I transfer money, or sorry, not money, crypto, um, into my Kucoin accounts from my Metamask wallet. So if you're not familiar with Metamask, Metamask is just like any other wallet. There's Trust Wallet, Coinbase has a wallet. Um, so what you can do is go on metamask.io, set up your own account, and then from there, they have Chrome extensions. You can download the app as well on your phone. All right. So once you do that, I'm gonna put that in the chat. Right. So you do want to have a wallet to store and transfer crypto in and out of. Okay. So once you're there, and KuCoin has a lot of different things on there. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out half the stuff that's on this site. But once you're on there, you can go ahead and start depositing into your KuCoin, the brokerage itself, right? And then from there, I'm used to using it on my phone, so I'm gonna try to see how we get to the futures. Here we go. And it's a lot of it from how I'm doing it right now. A lot of it is still pretty much like trading. Right. So I'm not doing nothing crazy, anything different. Right. I'll still come to TradingView. I'll still have my charts set up how I have them set up. And then from there, I'll see different things that I want to make a move on. So we're gonna get into that. First, just looking at potential moves, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and make my chart a little simpler to look at. I got a lot going on right now. Like I said, I'm testing, trying out some different things. But let's just take, for example, this Bollinger Band, right? So we're just gonna talk about a simple thing, trading off a Bollinger Band, which we've had classes on before. If you're not familiar with it, Bollinger Band is an indicator that essentially contains price, right? So price is supposed to stay within the Bollinger Bands. It will bounce around within the Bollinger Bands sometimes as well. So what I do typically, Bollinger Bands are automatically set.
Because everybody thinks like India.
Go ahead and mute that one time. Bang. All right. So mathematically speaking, hypothetically speaking, right, the price should stay within about 95% of the time. It should be within these bands, 95% of the time. Right. And what we see is, for the most part, kind of holds to that. Sometimes it will, touch the top and kind of ride the top, ride the bottom. But usually once it pops out, it'll come back in. It'll pop out, it'll come back in. It'll pop out, sometimes it'll run up and then it'll come back in, right? So what I do is, this is just me and my I'm running a class. What I do is, I need to get on the class. What I do is, I change mine. So I will. So what I do is I change mine, and sometimes I put it to 3 or even 3.5. So now it's even more expansive, and it fully will capture the price. So now we see the difference. Whereas before we had some times where it would pop out. Now with this one, it's like almost every time it hits the top, it comes back in. Hits the top, comes back in. Hits the top, comes back in, right? So just looking at stuff like that, we're gonna act like that's a simple strategy. What then I would do is I see that, you can set an alert So if you're unfamiliar with TradingView, there's a lot of different ways you can set an alerts, but one way is if you're looking at an indicator, setting an indicator alert, you can hit more, add alert, right? And I can come here and say when Dogecoin crosses over the Bollinger Band and the upper Bollinger Band, just one time it crosses, give me an alert. All right, you can set it to do an alert once it crosses and the bar closes, or if it closes and finishes above it, right? So you can come in and look at these different things. But this is just a simple example of how I could create a potential setup. All right, so Dogecoin sell, Bollinger Band touch. All right, and again, like we said, this is just regular trading. The same stuff I look at with stocks. All right, but I see the touches. I see when it touches the top, it comes back down. So now I'm going to be looking at when it touches it again to trade it to come back down again. Okay, so let's get over to Kucoin, and that's after you went in. So you need to have some type of crypto to transfer over, right? Whether it's Ethereum, Polygon, Matic, whatever the case is. But once you actually move it into your account, and if you want more details into that, I'll suggest doing a full, like building up a full Kucoin walkthrough. Something I need to do myself, honestly. But so that you're just aware of everything and where everything is. But come to trade, come to futures, and it's really quite as simple as going ahead and saying, okay. All right, so it's really as simple as coming in and placing the order, right? Whether you're doing a limit order, stop order. You can come in, set your order, say Dogecoin. This is giving me the walkthrough. So we're looking at it here. So this is like a live trade example, I suppose. But if I wanted to go short, right, and again, I'm used to doing this off my phone, so bear with me just a tad. But if I want to go short, I'm gonna go ahead, put the price as the last price it was at. Let's say I want to put 50% of the current amount I have in my account to trade this with, right? At 25% to trade this with based off of that. Right, I would just put that in and then I'll go hit sell short. All right, and it could activate the actual trade. So this is Doge. Let's switch this. Okay. And so that's really the simple way of looking at it. With futures, the way we have right here is the leverage, which is why I'm trading futures and not doing like spot buys. Is because it's kind of like with options where you have the leverage, you're able to amplify the results you get, whether positive or negative, by a certain percentage. So Kucoin, they don't have requirement for what up, Moody, I see you. They don't have KYC required, which means I don't have any of my personal information connected in this account, which limits me in my leverage because I can only do 5 times leverage because I'm not doing it, like it says right here. So if I connected, my driver's license and verify my identity and all of that, then I would be able to increase it to have 20 times leverage. What that looks like is by me having 5 times leverage, I can get a 5% ROI off a 1% move on the underlying equity. I can get a 20% ROI on a 4% move, right? So again, it works kind of like options where you can get a 3% move on options and walk away with a 50, 60, 70, 80% win.
I always go lighter than what I am.
Right. So that's a quick run through, man. And I'm gonna open it up for questions. Like I said, I just try to teach what I currently know. And if y'all have something or Moody, since I see you on here, if you got anything you want to add, my boy, you definitely can. Cause I'm about to take this for real. I see this thing dropping. I know how to use my phone better.
Hey Jordan, I got a quick question for you, man. You're trading the actual coin or token, right? You're not trading like an option, 100 of them at a time or anything like that.
So, and this is again me answering from what I do know. I'm not actually trading the coins because I'm trading perpetual contracts. right? So what that looks like, I actually just put a trade in on my phone. And that's what y'all see here. So what that looks like is, I have to look it up honestly, but no, I'm not actually buying it. That would be a spot buy or a spot sell, if you would. But I'm not actually
Mhm.
buying it. I'm basically essentially trading a future is betting on where the price of it will end up.
Got it. And
Basically what the future is.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like, it almost looks like, you know, I know KuCoin a little bit, so it almost looks like when you're buying and selling, and you're like, you know, I'm gonna purchase 25% of my current, you know, value of my account or whatever the case may be. But you're saying it's still some type of contract. It's not an actual.
Right. It's not the actual token itself. Just like with options, you're not doing the actual stock, but it's like connected in a sense to it.
Okay. But it's not 1-to-1. It would be 1 to whatever leverage you had.
Right. And so in this instance, because I only have 5% available or 5 times leverage available, because I didn't do the know your customer, that's all I'm using.
Gotcha.
Back up. We can set a stop. I'll set my stop loss. So again, I'm not sure how to get on the laptop.
Jordan.
What's up?
I'll chime in when I see time. When I see it fit. I really don't use Kucoin to trade or like leverage. I just like buy if I can't get a certain token through an exchange before I go to like Uniswap or PancakeSwap. I'll go to Kucoin if it's on there. A lot of stuff are on Kucoin, and then I'll just send it to my private wallet.
That's how I started getting on here, because they had a lot more options. They had Phantom token and all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started looking at the futures. For trading purposes, I'm putting my stop above these candles high. So because I did a sell, I'm anticipating it coming down. But if it goes back up above this high, it starts looking like it's going to press up higher, then I'm going to be stopping out of the position. I'm not even sure I could show y'all.
And you're doing a sell here because you see a double top.
There we go.
You're just looking at price action, not the Bollinger Bands here.
So looking at that and then coming back to like what I just was showing y'all, is seeing that it hits that over Bollinger Band and bounces down, but then we do have this level of resistance here. We had those rejections, right? And I got in at the right time, didn't I? So I'm up 288. I'm up $313 right now on the trade that I just got in. Right. Because even though I'm up 12% on the investment, even though it's only made a move of what in the last, let me go back to here, that'd be easier for me. So it's only made a move of 4% in the last 15 minutes. If we're looking at this, so if we pull up a 15-minute chart, that'll show it easier. All right, so this candle right here, so this is about where I got in. And if you look at the top left, you see it's currently down 4.5% for this candle. All right, so I got in somewhere around there, but I'm still up. So,
Jordan, let me find out you trading a strat and you caught that whole PMG.
And I'm just sitting here about to collect my $230, bro.
Thanks.
on the live.
Hey, that's the best way to.
Bro, and that's what's so crazy.
So
what's up?
So comparing it to options, the buy long is a call and the sell short is a put, essentially.
Right.
And so for someone who's still working a 9 to 5, because we have to keep working on our options, daily profits, this might be something good for us for after hours, because we can't watch it during the day and basically kind of do the same thing.
Exactly. And that's why that's why I've been liking to trade it a little bit more, is because you can trade it right now. Market's closed, but y'all just watch me make 200, 300 bucks in a matter of a couple minutes. So you can in the morning, 2 a.m., 5 p.m., whenever. It would be easier for you. And like I said, I'm trading it the same way. All right, we're looking at the same type of patterns. If you use indicators, you can use the same type of indicators. You trade news. Crypto has news the same way stocks have news. Just like that, So now I'm gonna flip back over to here. Again, it's just easier for me to look at this chart. Is what I'm used to.
Jordan, are you looking at taking it back up again?
Can I do what?
Are you looking at taking the price back up again? Because I saw you just sold. So are you looking at buying again? Because
not right now. So
bouncing.
let me show why. I'm looking at actually getting back in my sell position if it comes back down and makes a new low and starts to drop back down further. I will get back in. So this is why I'm not looking at buying, because on the daily, it's already pretty overextended. So I'm not really looking so much at catching, little quick 5-minute, 6-minute bounces here and there. What I'm really more so looking to do, and it's typically kind of the same way I do with stocks, is I see overall, it had this big move up. I'm thinking it's going to come back down and maybe retest at least the 15-cent level, right? So I'm just going to trade it on its way back down. And yes, I could get in and just hold it the whole way through, which if you looked at me in the chat anytime last week, you saw that's what I did with ZIL. I did a lot of trading it. And it's the same sort of deal. I saw a big run up, which is even bigger than the one I just traded. And then we had these big wicks, right? So we have all these rejections showing that prices is not sustaining up here. It's just not. So I saw that, said, bet, we're gonna ride it down. And again, when you have the leverage in play, and there's different, you don't have to trade futures on Kucoin. There's a lot of different options, but if you have leverage, even if you got in here a 30% move, if you held that the whole way through, that's 150% using the 5% leverage. That's 150% ROI. But no, I'm not looking at trading it up and down. I'm just gonna keep catching it on the way down.
All right,
And just to be clear, if that, sorry, go ahead.
go on. I was just saying thank you.
So if that moved against you, Jordan, it would be, it could potentially be 150% that you don't actually have in your account.
So
or is it based on what's in the account?
You'll get liquidated, right? So that is where you'll automatically get pulled out because you still have to cover the leverage. Leverage is you borrowing money to fund the trade.
So you would automatically get liquidated out of any positions that you hold in Kucoin in order to cover automatically, or would they give you amount of time to cover it before they liquidate you?
So you ain't got to worry about going through TSA.
So what you see, are you still looking at my screen here?
Yeah, I'm still looking.
And that's
Right,
all.
so let me go ahead and I'm not sure who that was. So you see at the bottom, here's my liquidation price. I just got back in a sell again because it tagged these bottoms and went through. Normally I would wait for a full close, but I went ahead and hopped in. So at this price, it's going to automatically close this out.
The same guy I told you about.
To cover the leverage.
When I go,
I would imagine
Savannah, and
it's
hang
also
out with
going
him.
to take whatever else I had in there. Look at that go. So yeah, that's how it would work. It would put completely.
Big safe stuff.
Completely
Well,
close
it's
the
the
trade.
floor. Yeah. You can't pull it out because well,
Because you lost the money you borrowed, so you got to pay it back.
400,000. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's pocket money.
Yeah, I missed some. I couldn't hear, but I got the gist of it. I got enough of it.
Yeah, 400,000.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one that was talking and who to mute.
Hey,
Go take what you want.
Jordan is saying, and real quick, if whoever has their mic unmuted, you can mute yourself so everybody could be able to engage. But to add to what Jordan was saying, to answer the last person question too, the difference between like options and leveraging, if it starts to go against you, they're not going to give you enough time to try to like, you know, fix whatever you're trying to fix. They're going to take your money. And that's just part of leverage. And that's like, it goes with borrowing against your asset as well in cryptocurrency. If what you're doing is going the opposite way that you would do, you will start getting liquidated, right? And the way at it on the option side, getting liquidated, doing leveraging through Kucoin is like having theta, right? On option, it's just time decay throughout the day. And if you swing in most 30 days, right? So think about it like that. And one more thing that I would add to, like if this gets confusing for you, you can always invest into cryptocurrency and get a return as well. Like just buying a token. So like say, I don't recommend doing it on Coinbase. Whenever I buy on Coinbase, I send it to my private wallet because they know what I invested into. They know how much money I put in. But once I send it to my private wallet, they don't know what I did with that. They don't know, you know, they don't know my gains. So they can't track me on my gains. They're going to be able to know what I'm going to cash out, right? So one thing that you could do, like say, even on crypto.com, I know Gala is a fire token, is a gaming token, right? Do some research behind it. You can ask me questions. I'll answer it to the best of my abilities. But you can buy like a token that's under a penny, right? But it's all about the capital that you put behind it, right? So like what I tell people is try to have about 1,000 or more tokens if it's under a penny. It still be pretty expensive, but if you can go ahead and do that, it's going to change your life. If it's over $1, I'm trying to have like at least 300 of those tokens, right? If it's like over $100, I'm just trying to get like just starting off like at least 50 of those tokens, right? Because if it runs up, it's going to change your life. I promise you that, right? So if you want to test out what I'm saying, put some money in a Crow. I would tell you to put money in a Crow because I know you're not going to lose on that investment, right? And you will only lose if you sell too early because it went down. But put some money in a Crow and you'll see what I mean. I'm not sure where's the price at right now because I haven't been looking at my wallets. But if you invest in some tokens that are under a penny and you have a good amount, just think about it like this. You bought, let's just say, Bitcoin under a penny. You have 1,000 Bitcoins. Bitcoin is now at $300. Each one of your tokens is valued at $300. So that's what I tell people to keep in mind. Cryptocurrency can definitely change your life, and it can happen really fast.
Yeah, no, I get it. I trade Kucoin pretty often, or I should say I did at one point. I still got a holding on it, but like I use it to trade. I use it to use the bots, all that type of stuff. I think one of the things that I found, like I never got into like futures trading just because I didn't know how to do it. But what I've realized now through trading options and running the bots is like I could have won on the downside as well, right? And so I think trying to figure out this futures thing, like, Jordan's showing that, okay, Doge is, going down right now. He's still winning on the downside. That's just extra money he can use, to improve his investments in Crow, whatever the case may be. But what I'm primarily trying to figure out is because I've got so many holders on Kucoin right now, let's say I'm trading Doge, but let's say I'm holding, FTT and Gala and Crow and, whatever other tokens that might be in my portfolio. If I'm trading Doge against, the USDT pair, and I get liquidated, is it only coming for Doge or USDT, or is it going to come for anything in my wallet that might be able to cover it?
From my knowledge, I would say Jordan probably answer that best because he's doing it. But from my knowledge, you'll get liquidated from Doge, where you put your deposit in at.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. Is that it's position specific.
I don't know if this will help, but what I did in my journey, I don't put money into none of this stuff. I just take my profits. So like, if I do well on a certain token, and I'm just saying, and say I made $30,000 on it, I'll take that. I'll still keep some of that token, right? But I'll take some of my profits out. I'm always selling crypto. I don't hodl crypto too long. I do for like months in periods of time, depending on the token, but not even Bitcoin. Like if I see Bitcoin going down, I'm about to sell all my Bitcoin into a stable coin, and then I'm gonna dump it right back in when it starts to reverse and go back up, right? So one thing that I would say find a practice in is like, oh dang, I went the wrong way. Say if you make bank on your options, right? And where you're not putting into your, that you're taking money out of your account, then cash out in a couple of months, like however you do your cash outs, take that money and start a new portfolio. Like whether it's crypto, whether it's options, whether you want to get into like start a portfolio to start a leap contract, leap portfolio. And what I mean by that is like going 6 months to like a year out on your contracts. And I tell people that work, swings and leaps are best for you if you're not trying to get rich overnight. And you're not gonna get rich overnight doing this stuff. It takes time, right? But long story short, what I tell people is swings. And when I'm saying swings, I don't mean like 1 week out. I mean a swing from like 1 month out or 1.5 month out. You rarely lose on those swings. And I don't think psychologically people don't see that. But if you go to the chart and you pull up a monthly chart or a weekly chart and you look and say you went for calls and you just see those green candles going up and you would have got in the middle or kind of towards the bottom and you would have been swinging those contracts, you'll be super up, right? The best way I could explain that, I'm more than positive note. Well, I'm not positive. If anybody's still holding that AEP play that I had put out, I think it was the 97.5 call. Those are up 400 and something percent if anybody continues to swing, right? It's because you had enough time. The data on there is not gonna hurt those contracts. Your contract that the data like $1, $4, $3, you will recover that day with the stock just moving maybe 50 cents, 30 cents in your direction, if that makes sense.
So Jordan, kind of going on what Moody just said, when you're getting into things right now, how long are you holding them? Is it the same day typically for the stuff that you have been doing so far?
For what I've been doing with the crypto futures, a lot of it has been same day or overnight. And then I have had a couple where I'm like, I'm gonna just sit in, I'm gonna just put my take profit and stop loss levels, because you can say, I want to get in when it breaks this level. I want to automatically come out when it, stop loss, take profit. So I will do that. Like you've seen in the chat a couple of times, I said, here's my entry, here's my stop loss, take profit. And you'll see me say I'm moving my stop loss up to go ahead and lock in profits, because I don't want it to turn against me and lose money when I've already went up $200, $300, $400. But yeah, for the most part, just like what I just did, 5 minutes, 200, $300, cool. But you can hold longer. And then, like Moody said, I do, or maybe kind of similar. What I do is at the end of the week, and this is really my start of my second week trying to do futures for real. At the end of the week, I just essentially rebalance, or I'll restart at $5,000 again, and I'll move the profits into long-term positions for crypto. And I'll just run it back through, trade $5,000, move it back. Do it again, move it back.
Thank
Two more
you.
questions, Jordan. Do you can you do trailing stops on here?
Not from what I've seen.
Okay.
And this is my first time actually pulling up Kucoin on the laptop. I usually do it all off my phone. So I haven't seen on my phone a way to do trailing stops. I usually just go in and adjust it manually.
Okay, and then what was my other thing? Man, I forgot that quick. Oh, your win-loss percentage. I mean, from what I can tell, just kind of monitoring your channel, it seems like you're doing pretty good to be, pretty much a neo to this. What have you been keeping your percentage?
No, I haven't been keeping it. I mean, I could easily just go find it, I guess, if I took the time to go look up past trades. But it's not like I'm new to it. And that's why I said I'm gonna teach y'all what I know, but I don't know a lot, because I didn't sit down and say, let me learn futures. Let me study what it is. I'm trading these just like I would be day trading the stock. Like I'm on a chart, I see the support and resistance, just like I was marking up while Moody was talking. Right, we see the bounces right here: 1641, 1623, 1630. Right, we see these bounces over here. We see this that acts as a shorter, a smaller resistance. Right, so even being able to play the bounce, you could play the bounce from here to here. Right, and if that was a successful bounce, that's a 2.5% move times it by 5. Right, that might be 12, 13%, 15 maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know too much about Kucoin, how to work it, all the different options they have. I just know how to put some funds in here, how to make some money, and then how to move them back out.
I have a question for Jordan and Moody. I have a Coinbase, and I'm thinking about switching over to Voyager to, I guess, do more trading. But the underlying question is understanding how to move monies between the wallets. So you're saying that you're taking profit and then going to a private wallet. Can someone elaborate, or in layman's terms, what that exactly means?
So when you're doing that, and it varies, the actual functionality will vary from platform to platform. But when you're depositing or withdrawing, when you're using crypto, you're typically going to have an option to withdraw to a wallet, right? And so you have to put in your wallet address. Right, so if you have Metamask, if you have a Coinbase wallet, Trust wallet, all the different types of wallets, then you'll have a specific address, which is a bunch of letters and numbers that you can copy. Right, you'll go to withdraw on your account, and it says withdraw the wallet. You say yeah, you paste that wallet address in there, and then when you withdraw, it'll move it to that wallet, which you can then distribute and disperse however you want. I'm personally using something that Alex mentioned. They have some auto rebalancing portfolios on here where I've set up 3 different portfolios based on different, long-term tokens I want to hold, or at least have some sort of exposure to. And I'm just running it through Kucoin. So I'll just move it from my futures spot on Kucoin into my trading account on Kucoin, and then I'll just put it in those. But does that answer your question? Just have you seen that address for your wallet?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that portion of it, but I guess trying to understand when you're taking those profits and you're putting them in that private wallet, is that currency that you can now potentially deposit into your bank account, or how does that transfer?
Hey, I got a question before I share my thoughts, if you don't mind me asking you. Why are you wanting to transfer from Coinbase to Voyager?
Well, a friend of mine that introduced me or trying to get me more familiar, he was talking about the Voyager platform opposed to Coinbase. I don't necessarily have a preference, but he's a little bit more heavy into crypto than I, and that was just the particular one that
Gotcha. Real quick, I know Jordan was chime in. My personal preference is to have a Voyager account. I don't use my Voyager account anymore. And I'll just tell you my experience. One, I asked, why would you want to go from Coinbase to Voyager? Why? Because you're just going from an exchange to another exchange. You're not going from a centralized place to a decentralized place, right? And I'll explain that here in a second. So with Voyager, I don't like Voyager. Reason being is because exactly what Jordan was saying when he was talking about when you see your wallet address and things of that nature. I made a bag off Doge on Voyager and different platforms, but I'm about to pay a heavy tax on Doge now because it was on Voyager and it was on an exchange and I couldn't move my tokens. That's why I don't like Voyager, because Voyager does not allow you to send your token. Only some crypto like Bitcoin, I believe they just allow Cardano. You have to, so before investing into the token, what I would tell you is if you're using Voyager, check to see if it has a wallet address, like if you're able to send the token out, right? And the reason why is because then you're going to get stuck with keeping that token there in your wallet, right? What I tell people, if you bought it on Voyager, like say if you bought Doge on Voyager, I'm pretty sure you can send it out now. I haven't used my Voyager account in a while, but if you're buying it on Voyager, you're best at buying it on Robinhood. You know what I'm saying? And even better on Robinhood, because Robinhood also is now allowing you to send your tokens to a private wallet. So when an exchange is allowing you to do that, they're not going to tell you to do that because you're making that exchange money by holding your tokens there, and they're not your tokens. If you're holding your money in Coinbase, that's not your money. You think it's your money because you look at your profile, but that is a centralized exchange. If you don't have private keys or C phrases like what like Metamask, a trust wallet that Jordan mentions a lot, you don't own your tokens. If it's not in a private wallet, if it's not in a decentralized platform, you don't own your tokens. I don't care if you got $1 million on Coinbase. That is, yeah, you got $1 million, but it's like a bank. I could go to the bank right now and be like, hey, let me cash out $1 million. And I'm gonna have to order that. They're not gonna allow me to take my money out right then and there. Same thing with that exchange. They're gonna allow you to take your money out. You're just gonna get taxed, but it's always best to be in a decentralized platform when it comes to cryptocurrency. The big hint is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is decentralized, right? So when it comes to cryptocurrency, you always want to make sure you're going to a decentralized platform. So for me to explain centralized and decentralized platform, a centralized platform is anything that you have to do KYC verification, get to know your customer, right? Know your customer is really what the abbreviation. Or if you have to put in your name, your ID, your social security, if you have to identify your identity, that is an exchange. It's just like when you created a Robinhood account, they ask you for your identity. They ask you for your social. Why? Because they're going to be able to tax you and things of that nature. You go create a trust wallet or a Metamask, you put whatever name you want there, and they're just going to give you a password, and that's yours. And you pass that wallet on in generation. So you pass that on to your great grandchildren, your great great grandchildren, and they just continue to pass it on. If you have a Coinbase account, it's not going to work like that. And it's under your name, right? So if you have a will, you got to think about all of that stuff, right? What if I invested in the cryptocurrency and I die and I kept it on this exchange? How is my family going to get this? Did I have this in my will and things of that nature? You don't want to go into that. And the reason I say that is because cryptocurrency will change your life. I made more profits in crypto than I ever done in options.
That's important to know, bro, that decentralized versus centralized. That's important.
Yeah. It's very important. Then another thing that's very important to know is like when you're sending your money, if you're new to cryptocurrency and you're about to send your money to another wallet or from a centralized platform to a decentralized platform or a private wallet to another private wallet, if you haven't done this yet, of course, reach out to me. I'll help you and we'll get on the phone or a Zoom and figure it out, right? But send a small amount. The reason I say that is because you will get nervous even buying, like swapping a token for another, like say if you're going through Pancake Swap or Uniswap, say if you're on the Ethereum blockchain and you buy some tokens, you bought it, your money's out of your wallet, and now you're sitting waiting for those tokens to come, and it don't come in about 30 minutes or an hour, sometimes next day. And you're like, man, what the heck happened, right? So you always want to make sure that you're sending it to the correct wallet address, right? And that's why I tell people, just send $5 real quick. If you got 1,000 in there, hey, just send $5. Make sure that it gets you to your wallet. And then when you see it get to your wallet, go ahead and send the rest of the money. And just hold your tokens there. I know the dude that was asking the question as well. I remember you saying something about like cashing out. If you have your money in a decentralized platform, you will have to send your money over to a centralized platform if you're trying to cash out to the bank account. Joe Biden has pissed off every cryptocurrency person because he is now taxing $600 or more on Cash App. So we're not going through those means no more. But I'm still trying to find another rabbit hole. I got to get with D-Wiz. I know he always knows a lot of different things. But anytime, like if you bought, say, Bitcoin on Cash App or wherever, because Cash App also is a centralized platform, but they don't tax you on sending Bitcoin. That's the good thing about them. If you, dang, I just lost my train of thought, my bad. If you have your money on a centralized platform like Coinbase or Cash App, and you send it over to a decentralized platform like Trust Wallet or Metamask, you will need to send it back over to be able to cash out. And always keep in mind that it's best to buy your tokens outright. So if it's a meme token or a token that just came out or it's been out for quite some time, but is not supported on Coinbase or Crypto.com or Gemini, Voyager, things of that nature, keep looking around. Go to Kucoin. The reason I say that is because, like, let's say, what's a token? Let's just say you wanted to buy Doge, right? But you don't want to put no money in the Doge, but you got money sitting in Ethereum and Bitcoin. When you swap Bitcoin to Doge, you just now created a taxable event, and especially if it's on an exchange. If you did that in a private wallet, there's still ways to get around it because it's your word against theirs. If I bought Bitcoin and I made $1 million and I sent it before I made my gains into my private wallet and I have my gains in there, they do not know. They only know KYZ357425. They don't know who I am, right? And also I can say, well, that's not my wallet. I pay somebody. It's your word against theirs. And that's why they're trying to figure out, like Yellen is trying to tax unrealized gains and everything that they're doing with cryptocurrency, because you can see cryptocurrency do its work right now. We're at a war. Biden putting out all these sanctions, and your man over here still getting by, being able to, move funds and do things through Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're able to see the power at hand right now. I'm always going to talk about cryptocurrency because I just feel like it can change people's lives. I think it was last year, there's more than 1% of the population in the cryptocurrency right now, but there's not a lot of people in there right now. So I would say definitely, like, invest into mana, invest into tokens. When you invest in a cryptocurrency, you want to ask yourself, like, how is this going to push crypto forward, right? How is this token going? What is it going to provide? What is the utilization that is going to provide cryptocurrency in the world, right? Is it going to push it forward? It's like thinking about Apple. You know, Apple has all these watches and all these things, and they're tracking your heartbeat. They're tracking your organs, your body inside, and people are not catching that. So what is Apple's big objective? They're probably going to do a hospital or something. They're going to get into the medical field. They have all the means too. They got the capital. They got how many millions of people not wearing their watch on their wrist right now? So it's like, okay, cool. So that's what I mean, like how I'm thinking about Apple, like, hey, what can Apple do? You know what I'm saying? Can Apple still be innovative? We're in inflation right now. Can Apple charge more for their products? Yes, they're going subscription-based now. So that means their stocks are going to shoot up, right? So I don't know. I just be geeking out.
Good, bro.
Jordan, what were those arrows? Thank you, Moody. Jordan, what were those arrows you were doing? Is that you studying something and what you're expecting the stock to do, the futures to do?
Yeah, this was just looking at support and resistance bounces on Dogecoin. So, you know, not directly the future in itself, but what was I on a 5-minute chart? But just like I said, I literally trade these the same way we trade stocks. So just noticing, you know, from 1633, it pops back up towards 1682, and it breaks through. It comes back down 1623, back up 1682, back down 1603, back up 1680, right? This time it kind of stopped short, but then here we go again with the same, you know, bounce down, and then bounce back up, right, for another bounce down. So all I'm looking at with that is, and this was like somebody asked, you know, could you trade the bounce back up? You could, right, as you could have done before. But because I think the overall move is going to be down, I'm gonna wait for it to come back down and potentially wait until it actually breaks back through this level so I can see a continuation further down. So that's all I'm looking at, support and resistance.
Get your sexy ass.
Oh.
And then you got an alert to sell something with a Z?
Yeah, I have a lot of alerts that are always active. That one was an old one I set, but it's not valid right now. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I have a couple of different alerts set. So even like if we're still on here and the next hour hits, you'll see a bunch of alerts pop up because I have alerts set to let me know when certain things are in certain spots on a 30-minute chart. I can show you. All right, so here we go. All right, so you see, you know, different alerts going off just for different things. This is the one you were talking about. That's a 5-minute chart alert, right? But 30-minute chart. So yeah, that was just the old alert. And I have things that just pop off and say, hey, this happened. Go check the chart out. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Like I showed with the Bollinger Bands earlier, you know, it could be something that just say, hey, it touched the upper Bollinger Band on 3.5 standard deviation. Go check it out. And I'll look at it, make a trade. Whoa. What other questions do we have? Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm still looking at Dogecoin.
Joe, you never run into any liquidity issues, right? Buying and selling?
Nah, dude. No. No, because like I showed you earlier, like when I entered that Dogecoin trade, you know, maybe I got in around here. So maybe I got in around here. You know, it said for me to get liquidated, it had to hit 19 cents and some change. So that would mean that it would have to go all
Yeah.
the way somewhere up here for me to get pulled out that position. Right. Which, you know, I would never have my stop loss to that far. So that's why I think it's especially important with crypto to set stop losses. I'm usually kind of lenient with my take profits because, you know, I know it might hit some more targets, but you know, crypto is more volatile. Crypto has bigger moves, and you don't want to get caught up, right? And something like we put over on a 1 hour chart, you don't want to get caught up in the trade, you know, and these are all 1 hour candles. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's 5 candles with a total move of 15%, right? So if you go to sleep, that could be a 15% move completely against you. That might be a type of move that could liquidate you, right?
I would never go to sleep on crypto. It's just too much. Yeah, it's too much.
Unless you have a stop loss and a take profit in place. All right, so that way, you know, you can set it up where it'll automatically pull you out. So for example, this is how I set up my stop losses, and I'll do manual trailing. Guys, I don't think I can do a trailing.
About how to provide for your family financially. We got you through that process.
I don't know if that's a real question. But I'll just go off of previous highs. Right. So if I was doing a swing trade on the hourly chart, right, then I would look to set, potentially I will use this high. It does depend on how risky I want to be and how long I plan on holding it. But I would just say, okay, you know, I'm getting in. If it breaks above this high, and I'm anticipating it going ahead and hitting this high as well, right? It's breaking through that resistance.
Oh, Lord.
Does that make sense?
Oh, Lord.
I think that was out of limit. So yeah, I won't run into liquidity, not liquidity, getting liquidated on a position because I'm going to set a stop loss every time, regardless. I'm gonna set a stop loss. So that way this big move doesn't take me out. Or even this big drop right here, right? Like that drop that I caught real quick. You know, it dropped down and then it bounced right back up. So I didn't set an active take profit or active stop loss in that scenario because we're sitting right here. But even with that, you know, if you got in right here, like, dang, bro, it's dropping, let me get in it. And you just close your phone, you close your laptop or whatever, boom, next thing you know, you check 10 minutes later, you down, you know, 15%, right? Because this move back up, say you were entering off a break of the 20-day moving average on the, or on a 1 hour chart, so this 20 moving average, you get to it off a break of that move back up, 3% move, right? Again, using Kucoin's 5% leverage that I'm using, that's a 15% loss you took in a matter of 30 minutes. You know, 15% loss on $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 starts to add up really quick.
Right. And then are you trading only like the top 10 by market cap, or are you doing top 20? What's the range you stand in?
No, for me, as far as trading, again, that's something that's pretty similar to how I operate with stocks. I'll trade pretty much anything that's tradable as long as it has volume. You know, of course, if it has really low volume, your fields are gonna be hideous. But as long as there's some volume in it, I'm fine with it. I just like.
How you checking the volume on crypto? Like their volume indicator, the same that, you know, for options.
Volume indicator.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just remember your voice. You was asking a certain question. I don't know who's speaking, but you was talking about leverage. Send me an inbox. I'm gonna send you my boy that does leverage if you want to pick his brain and like ask him some questions too.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. Come on now.
There's I Am Millionaire, bro. I am a millionaire, Alex.
I thought he was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alex, just call me Alex, bro.
We're
Appreciate it.
gonna call you a millionaire.
Oh man.
But yeah, so you could go with top 10, right? And you're gonna know that those are always gonna have volume. But yeah, you could throw on a volume indicator. You could pop on the different brokers that you're looking at, and they'll show you, top movers in the last 24 hours, top movers in the last week, most traded, that day. You can see that list. But for me, the same way we looked at whatever it was we were looking at before with these Bollinger Band touches, like this is something that I think just kind of works. And there's different ways that I'll go in and see how can I maximize that, right? So instead of just going off the touches, right, what if I go off a touch and then a MACD cross, and start running that. And then that's where I start back testing, whether I'm doing a manual back test, which is kind of like this, or if I'm doing an automated back test. But I just went, if you entered off the break of the Bollinger Band, every time, right, you would have came out on a winning trade. So let's just pick another random one. All right, boom, let's look at the same thing. I don't think these are actually breaking it. So you kind of see that. Let's see. So we might have had one right here where it pushed up, right? But just looking at stuff like that, bro, I trade the patterns. I trade the charts. I trade support and resistance all day. It don't really matter what the stock, what the crypto is, what the forex pair is.
And when you say the break of the Bollinger Band, you mean when it literally pops out of the Bollinger Band, it's going to retract back to that middle band or
So
near.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So I'm not gonna say no. I don't like to ever say something and present it as a guarantee, right? But mathematically speaking, yeah, it's gonna come back within the band. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes down to when it comes back in the band, that's up. We don't really know. But typically it will come back after one bounce. But like I said, that's when you start mixing in, other indicators that you can stack up. And these are just different. Don't mind all this. But so like one thing I'll test, but it's because I'm testing different stuff out. So like one thing I'll look at is, and I'll go back to Dogecoin since I know we have some Bollinger Band breaks that we can look at. One thing I'll look at is a touch of the Bollinger Band, and then at the bottom a cross of this stochastic RSI, right? So we see once the orange goes on top of the blue, then you'll enter. So not just off the touch, because sometimes it's touching and it'll keep going up. But now once I get that stochastic RSI cross, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm getting that and I'm getting that price, it's overextended up here as well. So, that's how you start combining indicators, if you're doing an indicator-based strategy, that's how you start stacking different stuff.
Gotcha. And then Jordan, I'm looking just so I'm on TradingView right now. I just typed in BTC, but of course it's like 100 different ones. So there's Bitcoin futures, and there's a whole list of them. You got Bitcoin USD, you got Coinbase Exchange, Binance Exchange. How do you know which one is linked to Kucoin? What you say, Moody?
Always go USD. Always go USD. And if they give you the Coinbase option, use Coinbase.
USD and Coinbase.
Anything you do, if it's Cardano, ADA, USD. Unless you're trading it against like USDT or something.
And that goes for futures too.
Yeah, anything with cryptocurrency, if you want to see their charts, you type in the ticker and then you type in USD. And it should be the first one that pops up is generally Coinbase. And then you could go to, if it's like a meme token and it just came out or something and you want to see some candlesticks for it, I think it's called poolcharts.com.
Yeah.
I got to go to pool charts. And if you invest into any meme tokens, take your money out quick. I'm talking about in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you. They're going to rug pull you. I'm talking about like a 5. Okay. could always you watch Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin goes down.
I can only hear what a few of the things you're saying, but I think you're saying if Bitcoin goes up, you know the rest of the market's going to go up, vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Buy you some Ethereum, buy you some Mana, buy you some actually Affinity, Gala. Yeah, I'm cool. I still got a good bit of tokens in the ADA. I'm losing faith in them though. I ain't really like their smart contracts. Who else on the top of my head? FTM, Phantom.
Yeah, I like Phantom too.
XLM. I be having love. It'd be like love and hate with them, but XLM is still a good token. I hear a lot of people talk about XRP. I'm not sold on XRP. I'm sold on their technology though, not their token.
It's definitely not decentralized, but you know what I mean. I'm hoping for the the SEC thing to blow through and just make some money real quick. So I'm holding. I've been holding for 3 years, man. So I'm just patiently waiting.
Government's gonna take that technology, bro.
Yeah, they got to. I figured that's what they're doing. They're studying it. You know what I mean? It's a use case right now.
Yes. It's better than their banks.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at this BTC. I see what you're saying, Jordan. It's bouncing off the Bollinger Bands. It seems like, I've got like the 200 MA up. I've got the EMA cross 9 into 21. I'm looking at the volume. Everything seems to, looking at RSI, everything seems to be playing just like it would pretty much in options. The same type of choices I would make.